What's going on, everybody? It's PDK FIFA here, and I'm going to be talking about the upcoming Champions League marquee matchups and the regular club marquee matchups. So, let's briefly talk about last week's marquee matchups. So, the teams that got picked were Man United versus Liverpool, which we predicted, Dortmund versus Mönchengladbach, which we also predicted. We talked about briefly Bordeaux versus AS and Atletico Madrid versus Valencia, but instead of picking those two, I picked the Polish derby and I picked Leganés versus Getafe. But again, the investment should have been quite similar, so you should have made somewhat a decent amount of coin. Again, the requirements for the actual SBCs were poor in terms of investing, so it was relatively cheap to do. So let's get into this week's marquee matchup. So since they chose Dortmund last week and Man United last week and the French league last week and the Spanish league, all of those leagues cannot be in this marquee matchups based on what EA does. So maybe they try and stray away from that and have leagues that consecutively are in different weeks, but based on the timeline of FIFA with SBCs, they've never done that. So what I'm predicting for this week is Serie A. So we got Fiorentina versus Lazio, which is a big derby. Then we got Roma versus AC Milan. That's a top club derby, or let's say rivalry. Then we got a huge rivalry between Besiktas and Galatasaray. So, and then we got Ajax versus Feyenoord. Again, a big derby. We also got the Welsh derby, I believe, between Cardiff City and Swansea City. Then we got the Greek League derby between Olympiacos and AEK Athens. And then we got the Moscow derby between Lokomotiv and Spartak. And we got the Australian derby in terms of Wanderers versus Sydney FC. So what I'm thinking EA is going to do, we're going to see a Serie A marquee matchup for sure, because it wasn't in last week's, so they have to pick from a big league. I'm not sure whether it's going to be Fiorentina versus Lazio or Roma versus Milan, but either or, just invest in Italian league quick sell golds, and you should be fine. You should be making some profit. So if you're buying them for say 500 a piece, they probably go up to 900. So you're still making a little bit, almost double what you're paying. So I think one of those two will make it. I'm gonna choose the Fiorentina versus Lazio one. Then we got Besiktas versus Galatasaray. I think this one is a lock because it's a huge derby. So again, Super League players. Again, the requirements that they might use might make it pointless to invest in certain marquee matchups. But again, it's nice to have the players, and if they do rise in price, you'll have the players so you can complete the SBC. Then we got Ajax versus Feyenoord. I think that's a huge marquee matchup as well. So that's 3 out of the 4. And then the fourth one, again, it could be between Cardiff and Swansea. I think they're gonna choose Cardiff versus Swansea for that one. So my predictions are Fiorentina versus Lazio, Besiktas versus Galatasaray, Ajax versus Feyenoord, and Cardiff versus Swansea. Next, the second part, we're gonna talk about the UCL matchups. So let's just select that team. Where is it? UCL matchups. So in the UCL, the big games that we have this week are between Benfica versus Lyon, Chelsea versus Ajax. Then we got Juventus or Piemonte Calcio versus Lokomotiv Moscow. Then we got Galatasaray versus Madrid, Atletico Madrid versus Bayer, and then Atalanta versus Man City. This one might be quite hard to invest in just because we have no idea what EA is gonna pick here. If Galatasaray is picked for marquee matchups, I do not believe that they will be picked for the other marquee matchups. So if they get picked for UCL, they won't get picked for the regular marquee matchups. I'm thinking that they're gonna go with Benfica versus Lyon, just because that's a pretty decent match, and Atletico Madrid versus Bayer Leverkusen. So those are my predictions for both marquee matchups. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.